Welcome back. Well, we are in the giving season, but when it comes to your money, do you feel like you're doing all the giving and your financial institution is just taking? Our next guest has 2 ways to put some extra cash back in your pocket this season. Please welcome David Bleazard from First Service Credit Union to show us how.
Hi, Deborah.
So first off, we say First Service and it's credit union. That's a thing that kind of confuses some people still. They have all kinds of myths of what a credit union might be. So give us the basic difference between a bank and a credit union.
Well, the main difference is the ownership is different. The credit union members that have an account there are the owners of that institution, and they're the ones that control it. There's no other shareholders to pay, no debt holders to pay. Every cent that we earn goes back to the members that own it.
Yeah, and with that said, I would imagine there's another level of responsibility because it is owned by the people whose money is there.
Sure, we're all cooperating together to benefit one another.
Okay, you said there's a couple of ways that we can put money into our account right now. How do we do that?
Oh, there's a number of really wonderful ways. The first of which is, if you have a credit card, the average credit card today is carrying an interest rate of 21%.
Wow. How many of you does that sound like you? Yeah, you're like kind of nodding your head. And did you know what that 21% really translated into later on down the road? No, of course you didn't, because you were going to pay it off before the bill even came in.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure, we were all going to do that.
I'm not paying just the minimum, right?
Right. Yeah, but for those of us who carry a balance, that high interest rate can take a very long time to repay. But at a credit union, the interest rate, the highest that we could ever offer is 18%. Our average interest rate is 9%. So we can save a bunch of money, over $1,000 a year for an average individual who carries a balance.
Yeah, that's amazing. Just do the math, and you all are great at explaining that. What's one of the other ways?
Refinance your car loan to a credit union and get a lower interest rate. Save $50 to $70 a month just by refinancing your car from somewhere else to a credit union.
Yeah, and a lot of us here, we hear that refinance, but until we hear the actual dollar amount, until we put pencil to paper and do the math, then you realize you're just really throwing away money if you don't do something like that.
Right.
Okay.
Who wouldn't want to save $150 a month on your 2 bills, a credit card and a car loan?
Yeah. All right. So we have some folks in the audience who have some questions for you, starting with Angie. Hi, Angie.
Hi. So my question is, if you do have a large balance on your credit card, what is your advice to lower the interest rate?
My first advice is join a credit union and get a much lower interest rate. At First Service Credit Union, our average interest rate, as I said, is 9%. And if you're carrying a large balance on a credit card, you're just paying too much. Shop around. There are many credit cards at credit unions here in Houston where you could benefit tremendously. And at First Service Credit Union, you get a 1% rebate just for transferring your balance from another credit card to First Service.
Ooh, I like that. Giving season, like we said. All right, Melissa?
Hi, I was wondering if I was considering refinancing my car. Is there a better time to do it in the cycle of how long I'm going to have it?
Really, the earlier you do that, the better, because the sooner you refinance your vehicle to a lower interest rate, the sooner you can start saving money.
Okay, and let's go to Charlotte.
Hi, I had got a loan from my credit union for my truck lately, and I need to lower my interest rate. I got a real low interest rate, but I think they could do better.
You're just thinking, how low can you go? Yes. Well, okay.
Excellent. First of all, great job in getting a loan at a credit union. That's the first thing. But second of all, again, it pays to shop around. You might be eligible to join many credit unions here in Houston, First Service being one of them. Shop around. Be a consumer that's well informed, and I'm sure you'd find a better interest rate and lower your payment.
Yeah, and she's smart to ask the question. Even though she's already done it, she's like, I'm sure I can do better, because most of us, if we do it, we'll stop right there. So, yeah, you were something else right over there.
Smart.
Okay, and Oscar, hi there.
Good morning. Many of us are upside down on our mortgages, and you're getting deluged with these calls for people asking you to do a loan modification. Is that practical?
Well, I think you have to be very careful with that. If you're upside down, there are several governmental programs that can help you to make your terms better in terms of lower interest rates and more flexible repayment terms. But you have to be very careful with that in that you are not being taken advantage of. If you go to your local credit union, if you go to First Service Credit Union, we have qualified mortgage professionals that can help navigate that water and help you decide what is the right thing for you.
Yeah, just make sure it's not one of those kind of fly-by-night companies, because there are some that kind of set up when they said, hey, this is something that's happening across the country. Let's see how we can take advantage of this. Somebody's got a long history, obviously, connected to, like, First Service in this way, that you know that they're credible. All right, Dwan.
Hey, how are you doing, David?
Good.
All right. I'm an entrepreneur as well as a college student. What opportunities does a credit union have available for me?
Well, that's a great question. Credit unions are really good at making loans to individuals and small businesses. That's really our forte. And so if you will go to your local credit union and talk to their small business administration people, you can get a really good loan if you're trying to start a small business from your local credit union. That's really your best bet for being a small business. Otherwise, it takes time to establish a relationship with a larger bank. And if it's a small loan, they may not really want to be in that segment, but credit unions do.
Yeah, and you talked about relationship. That's something else that's so important. That it's not uncommon for someone to walk into one of your branches and people to say, "Oh, hi, so-and-so," to know your name.
Absolutely. Look, we're all cooperating together to benefit one another. And so if you come into a branch, chances are the teller knows you, knows your children, knows your grandchildren. They know everything about you. And it's a friendly family atmosphere.
Yeah, and that's kind of how you make a decision based on, who should possibly get a loan. It's not just going through a couple of questions. It's knowing who you are, knowing what your intentions are, your heart is, and what your history has been. The other thing that people might be concerned about, though, we know that we can have bank branches all over the place, and so they might be concerned that are there enough places and locations for them to do their banking with First Service?
That's a great question. First Service Credit Union has 12 convenient locations in Houston. But through the shared branch network that most credit unions participate in, that gives you access to 4,300 branches nationwide.
All right. Well, thank you very much, but we're not done giving. Finally, there's a third way First Service Credit Union can put extra money in your pockets for the next 24 hours. 24 hours. First Service Credit Union will give away a $25 MasterCard gift card to Great Day Houston viewers who open a new account online. To open that new online account, just go to fscu.com, fscu.com. If you have further questions, you can call them at 713-676-7777, 713-676-7777. Start getting smart with your money now.
Thanks,
Thank
Deborah.
you. By the way, we're in the giving season too. We understand that you were really liking those sliders that you saw over there.
I saw that.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh,
well, ask and
look
ye
at
shall
that.
receive.
Ooh, nice.
Ask and ye shall receive. That's some good stuff, huh?